All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the old Impulse, brand new Impulse 32 out. The last maiden run that I had on this thing, what I felt like I needed was some bigger turn fins and possibly a bigger rudder. So the first thing that I want to do before I start replacing stuff is change one thing at a time. Now these, I believe, are, you can call them 56 or 58 depending on where you want to measure them, but they're actually quite small, quite short. Now if we compare those to what we have over here on, say, the back of the Spartan, which are the hot racing, these are quite long. And then we come over here to the Dominator, and these are kind of a medium size. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna take these off of the Dominator, and we're gonna go ahead and put them on the Impulse 32 and just take it out in the pond and see if it'll actually make a little bit better turns. Because what I noticed in the last video, as you would make the turn, it would spin itself out and it would just, you know, do a 360. And that's no fun. You're not having fun if every time you try to do a, you know, an easy turn, if it's just going to spin itself out. Now, I did take the liberty in ordering an extended rudder for it. I've got something similar to like here on the back of the Dom, but where this is only coming out 2 3/4 inches, I've got one that's actually going to come out 4 inches, to where it gets the rudder blade away from the propeller on the back of the Impulse. Now, the original turn fins for the Impulse 32 measured 58.5 millimeters in length from the top to the tip, and the ones that come on the Dominator measure 69 millimeters from the top to the tip. So basically we're just going to increase the length of the turn fins by 10 millimeters. Now the ones that were actually on the Spartan, they measured 75.25 millimeters long. So if I don't get a good result out of these, I can always try something that's yet again a little bit longer. But due to the whole design of this boat, I believe these turn fins will be just fine for this testing. All right, so what I've got the little battery alarm in there. So the last thing that happened last time, I had one battery get drained further than the other. So I'm not going to allow that to happen this time. I got the alarm set to 3.6, so we're good there. And I'm going to be running a different style of prop. This is a 43 millimeter by 1.9 pitch. I'm gonna try something with kind of like a tighter thrust cone to see if it will kind of help the handling ability at all. It may make it be too crazy, but I didn't want to go super big, so I went with a 43 mil. I actually got a lot of props from China. They're not excellent, well-balanced props, but I was able to get a bunch for a pretty cheap price. They're not really far off a balance. They will require a little bit of dressing on them, but this one and one of the yellow ones actually came fairly close. I mean, you put them on either prop balancer and they're damn near dead nuts perfect. The only thing I did do, I did sharpen the edge to get more of a knife edge on it. So if you listen, she runs pretty smooth. So I'm going to go ahead now, we're going to pop the top on it, take it outside, and see what happens. Alright, finally made it out here to the pond. Everything's good there. I went ahead and taped up the hatch just to see if maybe I was getting water in around the seal. So I'll be able to do my first run with tape on it. I've got the GPS inside and I've got my temp gun there. So I think we're pretty much ready to get this bad boy in the water. I expected to take a minute to get it up on plane with that 1.9 pitch. It is running nice and smooth. It's about 40% throttle. half throttle. All right, I need to adjust steering a little. It still did it. It still did it. All right. I'm going to take, because this has advanced steering rate, I'm going to go ahead and turn that down a little. I can tell with that bigger prop, it does not want to get up into the high RPMs. Let's try a full throttle rip. Wow. That is crazy. Something's beeping. If something's making noise, we need to figure out what it is. Huh. That was weird. I don't get it. I don't know why it triggered it. I guess it drawed it down. It drew it down to that point. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we'll set it to 3.3, and we'll just see what happens, because I have the low voltage cutoff on the ESC set on its highest setting, which I believe is 3.4. So what this will do, this will tell me if I'm drawing that battery level down. Let's see. Yeah. Wasn't hot enough, or wasn't quick enough rip to be getting me any high temps yet. I mean, hell, I didn't have it in there but 60 seconds. But I do have water in the boat, so it's not coming through the top hatch. It's coming through somewhere in the hull. So I got to do a little test later on. Now, here, quick thing. I did get 54 miles an hour, which is pretty badass out of that prop. But I've got 2 more props. I'm going to go ahead and swap that out, because I can already tell that that thing is a little overkill. So I'm going to go ahead and swap that out. Okay, GPS has been reset. I'm going to go ahead and put it in, and I have swapped on to an Octora X445, and all that looks good. Maybe with the lower C rating, it's drawing down that current in that battery. I really need to put some foam on this top hatch. Okay, good. I'm eager to run the boat regardless. Now that prop is 100% balanced. You can tell just by how smooth it runs. It's amazing. Once you balance a prop, it takes you about 4 or 5 hours. But it's totally, totally worth it. Let's get out and have some fun, guys. I love getting out on the pond. It's so peaceful. I always say I live in a Bob Ross painting. Just the background here is just beautiful. Not a very big pond, but I can't complain. I get to play in it for free. It's crazy when it hits the waves. Woo! That thing going out of control. I did trim it down a little. I may need to trim it back up. It looks to me like she's running kind of wet, trying to push the nose down. But I'm running out of daylight, so I'm just going to kind of run it like it is. I really did this to see how good the turn fins work. Now, they did help, but I don't really think they helped tremendously so. Now, one thing I did notice, I was only able to lower them about 6 millimeters lower than the stock one. And the reason why is, I'll show it to you. Basically, the stock ones are trimmed, they're cut to a knife edge. These are not cut all the way up. So if I were to take these and push them down, I would be kind of plowing in the back, and I didn't want to do that. I believe that's low voltage cutout. Wow, what a huge difference. Yeah, wow, okay. I didn't get nowhere near the runtime out of this than I did the HCL HPs. I got a huge difference in runtime. Okay. Well, I learned a whole lot here. The you know, the smaller batteries, there's definitely a difference in them. You know, they on paper or on the packaging, it shows you the C rating is the difference. But, you know, the bigger the battery, the longer the runtime. Because I just got, I can't really see what my runtime is, but I'm going to assume my runtime on that was about 4.5 minutes, where the other time I got about 6.5 minutes. And these are 8,800 milliamp versus 6,500 milliamp. So yeah, that's a big difference. But I was really throwing it to it here, more so than I was last go round. And last go round, the prop that I chose to use was only a 40 millimeter prop, which was small. You know, I was running a 40 mil by 1.4 pitch, so it wasn't it wasn't so bad on the amperage putting a stupid amount of load on this thing. So let's go ahead, open this up and see what kind of temperatures we are. Because see, I've got the battery alarm set and it did not go off, but I have the low voltage cutoff on that Spectrum set at its highest setting, which I think is 3.6, which under load, that makes sense. Under load, this thing was dropping down. Okay. Ooh, we got smoke. We got smoke. Let's see. That's weird. The batteries are only at 90. Let's see the motor. Motor is only at 112. The ESC is at 120. Okay, that may have not been smoke. That may have been water vapor because there's water inside the boat. That may as well. Okay, yeah, that had to have been water. It doesn't smell like electrical smoke. All right, I'm going to go ahead, unplug that. We're going to pull this. We're going to see what this says that the battery is. It says 11.4, okay, 381, 382, and 381. Okay, cool. All right, well, not bad. I didn't shut it down too early. It's just a big difference. Let's see the stuffing tube. Stuffing tube does have a little bit of temp in it, but okay. Well, the other prop got 54, and this prop got 52. So, you know, I'm working in a small pond here. I don't have a lot to work with. So until I get, you know, warmer temperatures and I can actually travel and go to the lake, which the lake is about a 20-minute trip for me. But it's not that far, but it's a lot to get packed up and charge all your batteries and get everything, you know, to where you want it to be. When I go to the lake, I'm going to bring multiple boats, and I kind of already want my turn fins and my trim tabs and my rear strut angle and all that stuff set prior to me going there, to where I get an understanding of how the boat works before I go and try to run a boat at 60 or 70 miles an hour out on the lake. And I also have to bring a kayak in order to rescue my boat if something detrimental happens. So a lot goes into traveling that far. And right now, all I literally got to do is walk 150 feet and I get this cool pond for free. Luckily, my neighbors are nice enough to let me use it, so can't complain there. All right, now I'm going to go take you in the garage real quick, and I want to show you what my plans are for my new turn fins. All right, well, if you've been watching my channel in any length of time, you know that I've been playing around with carbon fiber and working on molding a top hatch for, you know, Blackjack 29, Mystic 29. Now, when I do all of my projects, I don't want to waste anything. So what I have here is some thicker carbon fiber. Now, I don't know if you call this 6 or 12 twill weave. You know, I think they have 3K, 6K, and 12K. Now, I had went online and I ordered this on eBay. It was the remnant pile, and it was literally like 2 pounds of material, and it was like 60 bucks. So this is your typical carbon fiber weave, and you have some here that's different, just different thicknesses and whatnot. And then you have this really, really heavy duty mat here. Now, I don't know if you can tell just how thick this is in, you know, in a picture, but if you hold this next to this, you can kind of maybe possibly see a difference, you know. This stuff is probably 3 or 4 times denser than any of this stuff. So I would say this is 3 and this might be 6 or 12. I don't know. I'm new to it. So what I did was, when I had leftover epoxy resin, I went ahead and took 2 layers of this and I made myself a sheet, a hard plank, because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'll have me a nice hard piece that I can cut stuff out of if need be. And it was my first like trial and error of making like a flat plank, and I wanted to see how good it would turn out. If you look kind of at the glare and the light, it actually turned out pretty good. You can see my fingerprints and smudges on it and whatnot. But I'm nowhere near an expert, but I'm trying to teach myself. So I can't, you know, don't pass judgment on something I'm not trying to be an expert on. I'm just trying to learn it based on YouTube videos. And so far it's coming out pretty good. So what I wanted to do, because this is nice and thin, I wanted to take the turn fins here, and I'm going to take these. I might actually take the Traxxas Spartan ones, those hot racing ones, and I'm basically going to lay them on here, and I'm going to cut my own turn fin out of this and try to make one out of carbon fiber. I mean, they sell them on OSE, and if you look, like the thickness of the aluminum here, all right, so the thickness of the aluminum versus the thickness of the carbon fiber, like that's no question. Like, I can do that. And this is still 2 layers of carbon. You know, we still have 2 layers of carbon fiber here. You know, one epoxy binding layer and then an epoxy layer on each side. So this right here is pretty strong. Like, I'm sure I could break it if I bend it over my knee, but it's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. I'm actually trying really hard to force that right there, and it just doesn't want to go. So that was my plan. I wanted to share it with you. So I thought about, you know, making some out of carbon fiber. They sell them. I could buy them for like 18 bucks or 22 bucks, whatever. But, you know, I've got some small, some medium, some large. So I decided, hey, what the hell? And I'm going to go ahead and basically I'm going to cut a square out of it, and I'm going to lay one here and one here, trace it out, and then use the Dremel and cut it out and shape it and sharpen it. And then I'll take a little bit of leftover epoxy and I'll dress up the edges once I drill my hole and get the shape that I want and everything, and then I'll put it on the boat. But yeah, so this is what I was telling you out there at the pond, what I couldn't do. So if you look, see like right here, see that? I can lower that even more. But if I do, it's putting the flat face of it into the direction of the water. So right now the water's coming off and hitting that part and going down. But if I had it any more down, if I pulled it any more down, it's hitting that flat face. So I didn't want it to hit that flat face. So I really only have about 5 or 6 more millimeters in length of this based on where the other one was. So I don't know if it did any better. But it didn't do any worse, you know. I did change the prop. The prop is different on it. So, you know, you change too many variables, you can't really perform an experiment. But other than that, I just wanted to run the boat, and I wanted to put out some content for y'all. So let me know what you think about building a turn fins out of custom carbon fiber. And the next thing that I'm going to be working on, now that I'm back off of vacation, is I've given this thing plenty of time to you know, dry and cure. So we're going to go ahead, put 2 layers of carbon fiber on this, get the garage all warmed up. I got to get my wood stove going to get the garage all warm up for the epoxy. And we're going to be working on this next. See y'all on the flip side. Peace out.